In the height of summer, despite having plenty of free parking, cars were being turned away from the main car park and it was pot luck as to where you ended up. There are 2 cars running side by side and cover the 753 meters, taking passengers to an altitude of 1,823 meters in just 4 minutes. There is a cafe and WC facilities at both the top and the bottom of the flight. Café Fuente at the bottom offers space for up to 200 diners, perfect for a quick break before or after your ride. With a maximum of 20 passengers per car, they must be able to handle around 200 passengers an hour. You purchase your ticket, either one-way or round-trip, and then board the cable car at the lower station in Camileno. However, the running of the cable cars and the peripheral operations are well organized and can generally cater for the high number of visitors. The history of the cable cars dates back to the early part of the 20th century and was the idea of Cantabrian engineer and former president of the Spanish Mountaineering Federation, José Antonio Odriozola. It was designed to provide alternative access to the high Picos de Europa mountains and combat depopulation in the Libana region. Construction began in November 1962 and the project involved engineers José Calavera Ruiz and architect Angel Hernández Morales. The project's roots trace back to industrial cableways that were used to transport minerals from the high pastures of Oliva down into the valley. It was José that proposed the introduction of the modern passenger cable car, with the goal being to create a new way to access the mountains for tourists and mountaineers, replacing long mule tracks, thus providing a viable economic boost to a region that was at risk of depopulation. Construction was completed by 1966 with the official inauguration carried out on the 21st of August. The initial capacity of the cars was for 7 people, a number that has since been increased multiple times to its current capacity of 20. The system has undergone rolling upgrades to its cabins, drive systems, and safety controls so as to meet current required standards under the guidance of the public company Cantabria. All this information is on display in the top buildings in a purposely created room showing the development of the site from concept to completion. On reaching the upper station, you step out onto a spacious viewing balcony that faces south, giving you an unobstructed view of the central massif, called the Uriels. These views are simply breathtaking and the camera does it little justice. The heat, the scenery and overall experience has to be worth every euro. Not only does the vantage point offers a great perspective on the rugged peaks and lush valleys below, but for the twitcher the abundance and variety of bird life is second to none. If you do buy a return ticket, these cars are generally less crowded, as many of the more adventurous tourists will ride to the top and then trek back down the mountain, using one of 3 routes. This is why the car parks are so full, as even the shorter trek, the La Vega de Liord circuit, is over 11 kilometers and a good 2 hours on foot. Other trails include the Ports of Oliva, which is said to be 14.5 kilometers, and the Red Hanged Men, which is reported to be 11.4 kilometers. We didn't do any of them, so check the www.telefericodefuente.com as route plans and difficulty levels are given on there. As well as a gift shop and the history room, the upper station also hosts a cafe, El Cable, capable of accommodating up to 150 guests. Here, you can take a break, enjoy some local snacks, or sip a drink while soaking in the scenery before heading off on your hike, or taking the more simple route back to the valley below. The cable cars are affected by the weather. Don't have a wasted journey. www.telefericodefuente.com